Hey Sharon, how are you?
Hi, Natalie. I am great. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Today's Thanksgiving. You never know when your listeners will be watching this, but every day is a day to be grateful for. So,
I absolutely agree. Thank you so much for joining us today on Your Holistic Life. These are conversations in wellness designed to open up people's perspective on all that can be brought into their life to just live a healthier, happier, more fulfilled life. And Sharon, I'm just going to give a little bit of an intro. You and I met, um, I mean, you always know about Sharon Feanny, but you and I met, I want to say after the birth of my second child, maybe. So
yeah,
maybe in 2000-ish, 2008-ish. And you
yeah,
had this beautiful space, Shakti, that
yes.
was magical. And brought together so many. That's how I became a spinning instructor, was at Shakti. That's when I actually fell in love with yoga.
Yes.
Didn't really love yoga before, didn't kind of know what it was about. Um, and you really contributed a significant amount to my growth and development in that infancy of just starting out on this. And I remember having conversations in the bathroom with you, like, Sharon, I don't want to do this banking thing for the rest of my life. And you were like, do what's in your heart, girl. And so we go way back.
I remember those conversations deeply, and I will never forget having them and then watching your transformation actually, not just
Crazy.
being a person that has a vision or has a dream for transformation, but actually did the work to get there. So it's lovely to be a witness to other people's journeys, and I've certainly witnessed yours, Natalie, and so it's a joy and a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Sharon. I hope you have people that inspire you the way that that you inspire so many, because
Oh,
you're
I sure do, and I'm so blessed and grateful for that.
that's awesome. All right, so we're here today to talk about two M's, mindfulness and meditation. The reason it's so important is that, I mean, just generally in life, mindfulness is important, but there's some crazy stuff going on this year. And I don't know why I'm getting all emotional already, but there's some crazy stuff. And you and I people are dealing with a lot. What are your thoughts on what's happening in the world right about now and what people are going through?
Yeah, such a massive question, right? Being today as Thanksgiving, you may not be watching this or listening to this episode on Thanksgiving, but I just woke up this morning feeling so incredibly grateful for 2020. It has been, yes, the most challenging year of my life, and to your listeners, to each and every person on this planet's life. There's no one that has been left untouched by this pandemic. And there's no one whose lives haven't in some way been changed or affected. And some, sadly, much more than others. Some have experienced loss, some have experienced extreme trauma, some have experienced losing their jobs, some have experienced financial distress, some have experienced having COVID and then having to deal with the aftermath of COVID and having to really work on their health and restore it. So there has been so much that has affected all of us.
Yeah.
However, in my heart, in the deepest part of me, I also feel that each and every one of us on the planet at this time are also part of the invitation to step into a new era and a new way of being and a new way of sort of a new planet Earth. The way that we lived before obviously was not serving ourselves, our souls, or this beautiful place we call our home, Mother Earth. And so it has given us a chance, a pause to stop, to reflect, perhaps to look at the ways that we have been going about things, perhaps to become more mindful, which we will talk about how we show up in the world, about how we consume, about how we talk, about how we give, about how we receive information.
About even how we overdo and overschedule and overprogram our lives so that there's no gaps to just be,
to
you
know
know?
spaces. So it's given that opportunity really to evaluate our lives in many ways, and also to become more grateful and deeply appreciated for things that we took for granted before, like our health, like going outside and taking a walk in nature.
Like hugging a friend.
Right, like hugging a friend, or, you know, having family and rekindling and really seeing the people that are closest to us for who they are, and being forced into a place of loving acceptance, because guess what? They're all in our houses right now. You know? So,
yeah, it's true. And we're coming up onto one of what could be someone's favorite time of year. But this year it's going to be so different. So you different. Know? So what's Christmas without a Christmas office party, without a fete, without a gathering, without hugs and kisses and, you know, these greetings that we as warm Jamaicans are just, you know, this is our culture, this is our nature. We love to gather. And here comes Christmas, and our government has said no more than 15 of you. Be home by 10.
This is a wonderful opportunity for each and every one of us, for that energy that we would be expending going out or partying or buying gifts. How could we give back something of value to those that are less fortunate than us? So finding ways to volunteer this Christmas, finding ways to connect virtually with people who maybe are shut in or not able to really connect with their loved ones, finding ways to provide a meal for people who have lost their source of income. So this is something too I've been trying to work with my kids, you know, who are like, oh, what about Christmas? What are we doing for Christmas? And it's more now, it's about an inward journey rather than an outward journey.
As you were speaking, that's exactly the imagery that called into my mind is, what is this teaching our children, you know? And the way that we respond to what's going on in the world, of which we have no control. So we can't control what's going on out there. The only thing we can control is our internal and our external response. And our children are watching.
Exactly.
They're watching and they're learning.
They sure are. Sure are.
So as we go into this season, and we know that we should bring gratitude in, we know that we should bring awe and curiosity and all of those positive emotions. We know we should be bringing them in. But can you talk to us a little bit about that concept of mindfulness, and how do we engender mindfulness in our life, and why is it important to be mindful and aware?
So thank you for that. And, you know, I'm so deeply honored in the last couple of years to be able to show up more than just a yoga teacher, but also as a mindfulness and meditation teacher, because I want to tell you guys that mindfulness and meditation was always a struggle for me. Yes, I have been teaching yoga for many, many years. But the ability to sit and just be with my thoughts, to be able to not react to my thoughts, but to just sit and be and hold space for my thoughts, and to be able to watch them, and then to be able to allow more space between them, and then to be able to drop into that space between my thoughts into what we call in yoga your soul or your Atman, has really helped me over the last 3 years, 2 to 3 years, to become a more mindful human being. And as I become more mindful, I feel like it has shifted every single area of my life. And so when I woke up this morning knowing about this interview that we would have, I just thought about this acronym for what mindful means. And I wrote it down there.
Sounds awesome.
I thought I would share it and then maybe talk about little points that, you know, really have resonated with me and helped me to make that shift from meditation, that really difficult practice to master, to then become more mindful. So for mindfulness, I put down the M for meditation, the I for intuition, the N for nature. So as I say this, you know, my son is here at home. Hello, darling. And this is part of my life, you know, this is, you just
absolutely,
as it comes in. So, and try to stay focused, right? So let's go back to meditation, intuition. Nature, daily movement,
so important,
fully present, understanding. And when I say understanding, I really mean more inner standing. And we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
And then for the L, loving acceptance. And so going back to the M for meditation, what is meditation? So I like to compare meditation to scuba diving. I don't know if any one of you or any of my listeners have been scuba diving or even snorkeling, or just been able to blow all the air out of their body and sink to the bottom of a pool and just feel that empty space. But when you scuba dive, you know, and you're on this boat, the water up here is super choppy. That's a boat. Doesn't look like a boat, but that's a boat. And you're on the ocean, and here you are, and the boats are really choppy. I mean, the water is really choppy, and you know, you put on your scuba gear and you got to dive in. You have no idea what's down there, right? So you dive into the water and you get down here, and you got to stop here because you got to equalize. You got to breathe. You got to make sure your equipment is working. And you got to look around and make sure that you are safe, right? That there's no sharks or, my biggest fear in life, jellyfish, or, you know, any other things that you might encounter underwater. And once you feel that you are safe, you then start to find this, you can hear your breath when you're scuba diving, right? You can hear that internal rhythm of your breath. And then when you feel safe and secure and your equipment is working, you allow yourself to go even deeper. And as you get a little bit deeper, what happens is the water becomes less cloudy and choppy. Things start to become more clear, more crystal. There are still things traveling across your consciousness. There are fish and there are coral. And there might be other scuba divers. These are your thoughts, right? That are traveling across the space of your mind, or traveling across as you go deeper into your dive. And then as you give yourself permission to be with all those things that are going on in your brain, to breathe even more deeply, to drop even further down into the depths of your dive or your being, all of a sudden things become more quiet. There's more spaces between the objects that are passing through your periphery. There's more space between your thoughts if you're in meditation. And in between those spaces, between those gaps of your thoughts and your mind, you drop into a sacred space where there is no past, there's no future, there's just this one moment. And in this one moment is where the alchemy, the magic, or the medicine, should I say, of meditation is found. And this can happen in 60 seconds, it can happen in 60 minutes, and it can take a frustrating amount of time to even master the 1 minute of just being empty of thoughts. In fact, I don't even think 1 minute of being empty of thoughts is possible. The 1 or 2 or 3 seconds of just dropping into that space of complete non-judgmental awareness. And in that space where there's complete non-judgmental awareness, the yogis say 3 things reside. And those 3 things are pure peace, pure and conditional love, and pure ecstasy, pure joy. And joy in the yogic text means not necessarily joy that you're dancing up and down for joy, but just santosha, contentment with what is. And the more that we can train our minds to get down and down through these layers and layers and layers and layers of the mind into what we call the heart, the home of the soul, where these 3 nuggets, these 3 gems lie: pure unconditional love, pure joy, or just a sense of absolute contentment, no matter what's swirling around outside or how choppy the waters are, and pure and abiding peace, no matter what is going on. Gosh. And I think that tool of everything that I have learned and practiced over the last 30 years, it's only been in the last 5 years where I can really say that I am a daily practitioner of meditation. Some days great, some days not so much.
Right.
Day has caused that incredible transformation. So that is the M for meditation that has led to a life that is more mindful.
I get you. You know, as I was listening to you speaking, a feeling of calm just came over me, like just quiet, calm, a really good feeling, you know. And that wasn't even meditation. That was just me listening to you talking about meditation, you know. And your likeness to scuba diving, I don't know who listening to this is a diver, but I am, interestingly enough. And I have often described scuba diving as a moving meditation because all you hear is your breath. Yes. All you feel is your heartbeat, you know, and you are just, same thing as you said, it's just a beautiful, beautiful space, and you hold space. So for those of us that don't have a regular meditation practice, how often, if we're going to get started, I mean, we're going to talk about how do we get started, and you're going to lead us through something, you know, but how often should we be looking at practicing meditation? Is it a daily? Is it a twice weekly? And when's the best time to do it? Because I've heard in the morning, but in the morning I'm so sleepy.
You know, again, it's like yoga. There are different styles of yoga for everybody, and there are so many different methodologies to meditation. Okay. For our listener, what I would say is that it's a day. So there's a beautiful quotation that says we should meditate. Everybody should meditate for at least 20 minutes every day. Busy people should meditate for at least an hour. That one was always in my head because my excuse was, I am too busy to meditate.
That's funny. That's the quote that I'd heard. Yeah, it was to meditate for a period of time, unless you're too busy.
Yeah.
And then the time multiplies by like 10.
The more busy you are, the more you meditate. And the more that I listen to successful people who are making a difference in the world, is the more that people are saying, I am a meditator. It was almost like people didn't talk about this before. Mm-hmm. Almost taboo, like it was something you did in the cupboard and you didn't share. But it is such an incredible tool to manage your life. that I suggest that it becomes a daily practice. But don't think that you're just going to sit there. That's why we call it a meditation practice. That's why we call it a yoga practice. That's why we call it a piano practice. In the other room, every morning I hear my son playing piano in his music online class, and I hear him practicing, and I hear the frustration. And then one day I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, that was a full song, you know?
Right.
So it is a daily practice. And so my suggestion is just take it in bite-sized chunks. My other suggestion is it is most beneficial, I believe, to be done as the first thing in the morning. So the way that I teach people to do this is to set yourself up for success. So beside your bed when you go to bed every night, so maybe you want to meditate with an app. There are some beautiful meditation apps, incredible ones. I hope to have on one day, but some that I listen to are my meditation teacher, Rod Stryker. He has a beautiful app called Sanctuary. I also love and adore an app called Meditate Me by Kelly Howell. And these apps have 5-minute meditations, 10-minute meditations. So beside my bed is always my headphones, my journal, because the other thing that has come with the meditation practice is just 5 minutes after I meditate to just write down my thoughts of the day, so that whatever came up in the meditation just comes out on paper. As absurd as it is, I'm able to cathartically, that's the right word, write it out. Okay, so my suggestion and the yogic suggestion is first thing in the morning, but set yourself up. So maybe set the alarm for 10 minutes early. Have everything you need beside you, your journal, your smartphone, your computer, whatever it is. I also really love and encourage, as a tool, as a sort of a ritual for meditation. If you look on my desk here, I have hundreds of bottles of essential
Always by me too.
right? And when I lead this meditation, we will use an oil, so I put a couple of drops in my palm and I rub it together. And this is it's a symbol that I'm going to meditate. For some people, it could be lighting a candle or a stick of incense. And another tool is creating a sacred space in your home. Now, right now, my home is like 3 times smaller than the home I lived in Montego Bay. Finding a sacred space, like my sacred space is my rolled up yoga mat that has to be put up neatly next to the journal and the candles. And then I have to roll it out and find my space. And it's okay, but creating a sacred space, setting yourself up for success by preparing from the night before, and having some type of symbolic ritual that you do that says to your brain, I'm going to meditate.
Love that. You actually have me in my mind thinking, where can I do a little thing? And you've made 5 minutes so accessible. I mean, I can wake up 5 minutes earlier. I can go to bed 5 minutes earlier to wake up 5 minutes earlier. I really can.
Yes, you can. And let me not forget, the most important thing is you do not pick up your phone and open your WhatsApp or your Instagram or your emails. That is sacred, all right? Nothing happens before those 5 minutes except that. And that incrementally can grow to 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just those few minutes of coming out of this, the mind, the thinking center, and dropping into the heart where those 3 gems lie, the pure love, the pure peace, the pure joy and contentment, will serve you and will serve the decisions that you make for your life for the rest of the day ahead.
Sounds amazing.
And if you have time again to do it again in the evening before you sleep, double whammy. But at least get it done in the morning.
why do I want to meditate? I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. So I'm waking up. It's first thing in the morning. I'm going to meditate. I'm super busy. I'm carving out this time. Why am I making space for this in my life? What's it going to do for me? I'm a black and white person. I'm a type A personality. What's meditation? Why do I want to do this? I know why I need to work out. Why do I need to meditate?
Science has proven a million reasons. I mean, this is now, we now have data, we now have scientific proof of the way that meditation affects your brain. So it can build your immunity, it can reduce inflammation in your body, it can give you much more focus and mental clarity, it can reduce anxiety, depression, fear, negativity. It can bring you happy hormones, induce or raise your endorphin levels so that you're just a generally happy person. It can make you more productive.
Them some pretty good reasons.
It can make you much more mindful about what you're eating and what you're putting into your body, so that you are thinking about what you're putting into your body, which is such a big and important thing, a whole nother webinar. Right? And it can also, most importantly, I find, make you less reactive to situations. So because in meditation, what science has shown, we develop these habitual responses to things. Okay. I'm stressed, so I eat. This person is my button pusher, so the minute I see him, my stomach goes into a knot and I get acidic stomach. My boss drives me crazy and makes me not feel good about myself, and before he says a word, my instant reaction is self-doubt.
Visceral, yeah.
Right. So it allows you to be the observer of your mind rather than just reacting to emotion. And then when you are able to observe your mind instead of reacting, you are able to make conscious decisions about how you react to things.
Right. So I may not be able to control the environment, but when I take care of what's going on in here, then I can choose a better response. And you mentioned the brain pathways. So also my brain pathways are better able to manage the stressors of life.
In fact, science has shown that meditation is the only thing. So what happens is when we have these habitual responses to certain situations, our neural pathways get connected, like they get hitched up like super glue. So I am stressed, I need sugar. Okay, so that's just your habitual response. Meditation, those gaps between your thoughts, actually over time start to unravel that entanglement of your response to situations and start to untangle those constantly firing neurotransmitters in your brain. And so meditation, not antidepressant or anti-anxiety drugs cannot do it. They just mask the situation. Meditation is the only thing that has been shown to actually reduce that entanglement and that response in your brain to certain.
Sounds awesome. I'm game. I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay. I think this is one of the most beautiful gifts that we can give ourselves this Christmas season, is giving ourselves these 5 minutes of practice, of widening that gap, of calming, of dropping. I love what you said about dropping, coming out of your mind and dropping into your center. It just sounds so surreal, so calm, so serene. Yeah. Would you guide us through a brief meditation just so we can feel what it feels like and what we need to do? Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Sharon.
Beautiful. And I hope I don't go off on a tangent, because sometimes I go woo, on a very deep scuba diving mission. But we'll keep it to 5 minutes, all right? So
okay.
let me be mindful of the time. So I'm going to place some drops of oil in my hand. If you do not have oils as you're listening to this, don't worry about it. Just this action of rubbing your hands together creates a mind-body connection. So your hands and your fingers are connected to your heart, and your heart is directly connected to the brain. So this is why in yoga we have all these mudras, right? We have these different hand movements. We have namaste. Anything to do with the hands sends a signal to the brain. So whether you have oils or not, it doesn't matter. We will begin by rubbing our hands together. All right? So before you do that, what is very important, if you are sitting in a chair like I am, that your feet are flat on the ground, not crossed, right? So you really feel that sense of connecting with the earth. And if you do have shoes on, you could just keep them off, right? Keep them off.
Take off my shoes.
And if you are on the floor or in your bed, you could come into a comfortable cross-legged seat if that's available to you. If that hurts your knees, don't worry about it. Extend your legs. What is vitally important, though, is that your spine is erect. So press your lower back into the back of the chair. Good. Let the crown of the head reach up towards the ceiling and just allow your shoulders to relax. Good. So let us begin. So I'm going to drop a couple of drops of Yang Ylang oil into my palms. Yang Ylang is the love oil. And
such a good oil.
Thanksgiving Day, I just want to be in a state of love and gratitude for everything. So whether you have oils or not, feet flat on the floor in a cross-legged seat, bring your palms together and just start to rub them vigorously. Good. If you feel comfortable, please close your eyes and begin to tune in, plug in to the action of your palms rubbing together. Good. Feel the left palm rubbing the right palm. Hear the sound. Feel the warmth, the friction that you're creating. If you have oils, this is a lovely way to activate the plant medicine from the oils by creating the heat. Good. And as you feel your hands rubbing together and that heat, you're going to notice that your breath is beginning to deepen. So now you're making a mind-body breath connection. Mind-body breath. When the mind, the body, and the breath are connected, you become more and more in the present moment. So please speed this up now for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And with your hands nice and warm, take the right hand to the heart and the left hand over the right. And allow your elbows to just melt down, shoulders to soften away from the ears. And the crown of your head to reach up to the ceiling and beyond the ceiling to the blue sky above. We're going to begin this practice with 5 slow, deep breaths, and I'm going to invite you to count your breath. We're going to breathe in for a count of 4, hold the breath for a count of 2, breathe out for a count of 6, and hold the breath out for a count of 2. So breathing in and out of both nostrils, let's begin. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, holding the breath in your heart, 1, 2, and slowing the breath out as you exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and holding the breath out, 1, 2. Beautiful. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, bringing that breath into your heart and holding it, 1, 2, slowing the breath out, feeling your chest contract, your belly button move towards the spine, 5, 6, holding the breath out, feeling your emptiness, 1, 2, and 3 more. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Holding the breath in your heart. 1, 2. Slowing the breath out as you exhale, being aware of the breath leaving both nostrils. Good, and then holding the breath out, just feeling that pause. 1, 2, and then these last 2 rounds, can you do them on your own? Breathing in for 4, holding for 2, breathing out for 6, holding the breath out for 2. One more round with full awareness. And then inhaling deeply, and as you exhale, just allow the hands to be released from the heart and slowly come down onto your lap. Take a moment to let the breath move in and out of your body and simply receive. As you breathe, allow any tightness or holding in your face to soften. As you breathe and relax, allow any tension, any frustration, any anger, any negativity, any unforgiveness in this moment in your heart to be released. And as you breathe, can you allow your belly to just get soft and round? No holding, no tightness. And as you let go, feel any gripping in your buttocks or your legs melt. Entire body present. Feeling the rise and the fall of your body and your breath. And now let's go on a little sensory journey. So take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, I'd like you to just listen to sound. Maybe you can hear the sounds of the birds around outside, or sounds around your own space where you are. Without judging or labeling, just open your inner ear and attend to sound. Perhaps now you can hear more distant sounds, cars passing, people talking. Again, no judgment, just awareness of sound. And then take a deep breath in and exhale. And moving from sound, let's take a step even closer and become aware of the surface of your body, your skin. Just be aware of your skin, that container for your body, the largest organ of your body. Just be aware of skin. Feel the skin on the soles of your feet, your scalp, Feel the skin on your right forearm, your left cheek, the tip of your nose. Feel the skin on your right knee. Feel the skin on your left palm. No judgment, no labeling, just an awareness of skin. And then take a deep breath in and exhale it out. Let's take another step deeper, moving from sound to skin, to watching your thoughts. So I'd like you to imagine that you are sitting by the sea on a rock in a beautiful secluded beach. And you're just observing the waves rising and falling. Allow these waves to be your thoughts, arising from somewhere and disappearing across the screen of your mind into nowhere. Try not to judge or label or get involved in any one thought, but just like a passive, loving, non-judgmental observer. Simply sit on that rock and watch the waves of your thoughts as they travel across the screen of your mind. With every breath, can you allow yourself to go just a little deeper? Find a little bit more space between those thoughts. And finally, moving to the deepest part of ourselves, from sound to skin, to observing our thoughts. Can you drop into the space of the observer? Can you drop into that part of you that is always there, deep in the throne room of your heart, that is listening to sound, that is observing sensation of skin, that is watching thoughts, can you drop into the witness? Can you drop into that inner sanctuary of your heart where there is pure, unconditional love for this moment, for yourself, your life as it is? Can you drop into that place of santosha, contentment, joy for every single thing in your life that's led you up to this very moment? And can you breathe, relax, and let go even more deeply and drop into that place of absolute peace and freedom? Can you breathe into that peace, love, and joy into your heart? Can you feed your soul right now with your full awareness and your full attention? 3 more slow, deep, purposeful, loving breaths into your heart. Take 1 more big breath in. Exhale it out. On the inhale, please drop your chin to your chest, your head to your heart. Bring the hands together in prayer. Namaste.
Thank you, Sharon. That was amazing.
How do you feel?
A little damp in the eyes. I feel light yet heavy at the same time. It's very
Grounded, maybe.
I feel so calm. Yeah, this is amazing.
Talk about the benefits of meditation, just being able to practice that for, I don't know how long we went, but 5 minutes,
Yeah.
how long it is. It's compounded, it's incremental, it's little tiny actions every day that add up to this whole new way of being.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to your listeners. And I just want your listeners to know that every Tuesday I teach a free yoga and meditation class online at 9 a.m. It's a community yoga class. It is free. And we do practice yoga and then we end with meditation. So if you want to keep practicing, you can join me, find me on Instagram at Sharon Feanny, and you can sign up for these free classes.
That's amazing. Tuesdays at 9 a.m.
And if you can't make 9 a.m., sign up anyway and you just watch the recording.
Oh, perfect.
You can.
Perfect. Thank you so much for this beautiful gift, Sharon. I'm hoping that we've inspired at least one person to pull this beautiful gift into their life. Namaste. Thank you.
Natalie. Namaste.